Well, I want to thank y'all for joining me today. If y'all don't know me out there, my name is Benjamin Beavers III. I'm a real estate agent, licensed real estate agent with Century 21 Jordan Lincoln Company. What I wanted to talk about today was buying or waiting to buy in this situation. But when you're in that buying situation, you may sometimes find yourself in a selling position because you may own a property. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is really think about your situation when you're buying or selling, and kind of how did this topic come up? Well, I was talking with a couple of folks these past couple of days, and that was kind of the question, like, should I buy or should I wait? What should I do in this market? I'm actually kind of scared because what if this market crashes like 2008? All these types of what ifs start to come up. So what I'm going to ask you to do out there is just really think through your own personal situation, because when it comes to buying real estate, it's always on a case by case basis. Your situation may not be like your buddies or your aunts or your uncles or whoever it may be. Your situation is always going to be different from the next person. Your point of view is always going to be different from the next person. So again, I'm going to ask you to think of your situation, and what I like to say, it's totality, and not just between now and a month from now, or now and a year from now, but over time. 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever it may be. We all know that typically in real estate, when a person or a family buys a home, they usually occupy that home from anywhere from 7 to, it could be 10 to 20 years. It just really depends on their situation. So if for some reason something happens, the bottom falls out of real estate, that you yourself are in a position that can weather that storm. um, you know that's kind of what I want you to think about. And again, it's not listening to me or a friend or anything you read, or what you see or what you're being told. You have to, I'm not saying don't consider those things, but line it up with, again, your specific situation and your needs. So what does that lead us to? It leads us, to a couple of things. I know some folks say, well, what's going to happen with the interest rates? They're extremely high right now, and that's kind of what I want to touch on here. Is when we look at interest rates, and I'm going to do that currently, and this is not 100% exact, but very, very close to what the current rate can be, plus or minus. But when we're looking at interest rates, we're looking at, on a 30-year fixed conventional loan, is about 5.5%. On a 15-year conventional fixed, we're looking at about 4.6%. On a 30-year jumbo loan, we're looking at about 5%. And on a 30-year FHA, first-time home buyer loan, we're looking at about 5.4%, give or take. Now, you have to talk with a mortgage specialist and professional loan officer to give you more specifics associated with you. Again, your debt to income ratio, your credit score, and your ability to see yourself through that transaction, whether it be having additional monies for inspections, gift money to help you with that down payment, whatever that situation is. But I suggest that you talk with a loan specialist that can help you through that if you're in that buying position. Now, some other things that I want to share with y'all are, from a sales standpoint. Now, what I'm looking at here is a National Association of Realtors, what they call a confidence index survey. So when it comes to the numbers, there's a little time delay. So these are March numbers, We'll see April's numbers mid-May. So in a week, a little over a week, we'll see April's numbers. So just keep that in mind. But these numbers are on a national level. So for first-time home buyers, last year in March, about 32% of sales were associated with first-time home buyers. This year, about 30% of sales were associated with first-time home buyers. Sales to investors. Last March, okay, about 15% of sales were associated with investors. This year, about 18% in March were associated with investors. Cash buyers, and where are these cash buyers coming from? Folks that have sold their home, maybe have relocated to an area where they can take that equity and pay in full for a home, or different types of situations. But anyways, 23% last year of home sales were associated with cash sales, and this year 28% were associated with cash sales. Distressed properties, homes that need work, homes that were part of a probate sale or foreclosure or short sale, whatever it may be, only 1% last March and this March. So days on the market last year nationally, a home was listed on the market before it went into the pending status was 18 days. This year, 2022, in March, 17 days. So everything is really close. Not much of a change. That's to be expected with the type of, past 2 years that we have had rolling into this third year. With inflation, the increase of home prices, the beginning of 2020, where we had, in late 2019, where we had some really decent, really good interest rates, to now we're in that inflation period where everything is a lot higher than what it was. Values are a lot higher, more equity out there. But what's really impacting the sales market right now, the two things, and I always talk about it, is inventory, the lack thereof, and then also the interest rate. But this time yearly, we typically see an increase in inventory, which will help. What does that mean for sellers? Sellers may be more inclined to sell because they see more homes on the market, which will enable them to better find a replacement property. And buyers, what is that going to do for you? What that's going to do for you is give you some more homes to choose from. Not saying that it will take away the competitiveness. I don't think it will necessarily do that unless we have an influx of inventory, but you will have some more choices out there. And the affordability of a home due to the interest rate. Some folks are kind of sidelined right now because they can't qualify for the loan that they would have qualified for 4 months ago. In some cases, 6 months ago, some cases 2 months ago. It just really depends. So again, you have to look at the totality of your circumstances, what you can bring to the table to make sure that you give yourself the best start at putting in an offer, getting it accepted, getting into escrow, and closing escrow. And then for sellers, pricing that home right and knowing the market. And kind of piggybacking off knowing the market, you definitely want to know your market when you're getting involved in real estate, whether you're buying and or selling, because let's just face it, this is not a very simple purchase or sell. You're not buying a Starbucks cup of coffee. You're not buying Dutch Bros, which I don't like because there's too much sugar. But you're not buying a Dutch Bros cup of coffee. You're not buying an In-N-Out burger where it's real simple. It's a very costly purchase, so you don't want to take it lightly. That's why I encourage you to look at your situation, see what's going to work best for you yourself, or if you have a family, for you and your family. I really do thank you for this time. I encourage you to talk with a real estate agent like myself, or even one that you feel comfortable with. And I'd really love to help you think through things and help you make the right decision when you do sell your home or you do purchase a home. I do service the Kings, Kern, Tulare, and Kings County areas. I do also work outside of those areas, but hey, let's face it, if I can't provide you the service that you need outside of those areas, I'll definitely connect you with someone who can and meet your needs if that's the case. But listen, I really hope this is helpful for you. Let me know what you want to talk about. You can call me, reprop721@gmail.com, or you can even call me, 559-909-0238. Love doing this, love sharing info with you, and I will definitely see you on the next one. Take care now.